In a small, forgotten town nestled deep within the woods, there was a legend, a tale whispered among the townsfolk for generations. They called it the Demon Clown, a creature of nightmares, whose laughter echoed through the trees on moonless nights. But most believed it was just a story, a tale to scare children and keep them from wandering too far. Most, but not all. Lena was new to the town, a city girl at heart, who found the quiet of the countryside unsettling. She didn't believe in ghosts or monsters, and the warnings of the townspeople amused her more than anything else. They told her never to walk alone at night, especially near the woods, but Lena wasn't afraid. She found solace in the solitude, the only time she felt at peace in this strange place. One cold autumn evening, with the moon hidden behind thick clouds, Lena decided to take her usual walk. The air was crisp, the leaves crunching underfoot as she ventured down the winding path that led to the woods. She pulled her jacket tighter around her, not from fear, but to ward off the chill that seemed to cling to the air. As she walked, the sounds of the forest grew quieter, the usual chirping of crickets and rustling of leaves replaced by an unnatural silence. A low, haunting chuckle broke the quiet. Lena froze, her heart skipping a beat. It was a sound that didn't belong, a guttural, inhuman laugh that sent shivers down her spine. She spun around, searching the darkness, but saw nothing. The path behind her was empty, the trees casting long, twisted shadows that danced with the flicker of her flashlight. "Who's there?" Lena called out, her voice trembling despite herself. Silence answered her, thick and oppressive, pressing down on her like a weight. She took a step back, then another, her instincts screaming at her to run, to flee the way she came. But her pride held her in place. She wouldn't let some prankster scare her off, not tonight. But the laughter returned, louder this time, closer. It was a manic, twisted sound, filled with a malevolent glee. Lena's breath hitched as she realized it wasn't coming from behind her, but from the trees up ahead. Slowly, the beam of her flashlight traced the outline of the trees, searching for the source, and then she saw it. Half hidden among the branches, perched like a grotesque bird, was a figure in a tattered clown suit. Its face was pale, almost ghostly, with smeared makeup that turned its features into a hideous mask of despair. The eyes were dark, hollow pits, but they gleamed with a predatory hunger that made Lena's blood run cold. It grinned at her, lips curling into a smile that stretched impossibly wide, revealing sharp, yellow teeth. "Welcome, Lena," it whispered, though its lips never moved. The voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, surrounding her in its icy grip. Lena's courage shattered. She turned and bolted down the path, the flashlight swinging wildly in her hand, casting frantic beams of light. The sound of footsteps echoed behind her, heavy and fast, matching her own. She didn't dare look back. Her only thought was to get away, to escape the thing that hunted her. But no matter how fast she ran, the footsteps kept pace, the laughter growing louder, more deranged. She could feel its presence, a cold breath on the back of her neck, the sensation of something just out of reach, ready to drag her down into the dark. She burst out of the woods, her lungs burning, legs trembling. The town was in sight, the warm glow of the street lights a beacon of safety. But as she reached the edge of the trees, the laughter stopped. The footsteps ceased. The night was silent once more. Lena slowed, glancing back. The path behind her was empty, the trees still and quiet. There was no sign of the clown, no trace of the nightmare that had chased her. Had it been a hallucination, a trick of her mind? But as she caught her breath, a faint sound reached her ears, a soft, rhythmic squeaking, like the wheels of a bicycle turning in the distance. She turned her gaze back to the town, and there, under the nearest streetlight, stood a lone, rusted tricycle. On its seat was a small, red balloon, tied to the handlebars, swaying gently in the breeze. Lena's heart froze as she saw the message scrawled on the balloon in thick, black ink. "I'll be seeing you." The town's warnings were true after all, and Lena knew, deep down, that the demon clown wasn't done with her. Not yet.